No one could handle the billionaire's twin daughters. Until a single dad janitor did the impossible. When the new janitor arrived at the prestigious Greenwood Academy, no one paid much attention. He was quiet, always wore the same faded blue uniform, and often came early before sunrise. Most teachers didn't even know his name. But everyone knew one thing. No one wanted to deal with the billionaire's twin daughters. Leela and Grace were only 9, but their arrogance could silence an entire room. They were the daughters of Richard Hensley, the powerful CEO who practically owned half the city. After their mother passed away 2 years earlier, the twins became unpredictable. They screamed, fought, threw tantrums, and drove away every tutor, counselor, and nanny their father hired. Rumor was, they once locked a teacher in the supply closet just because she took away their phones. One rainy morning, while most of the school was asleep, the janitor, Daniel, was mopping the hallway outside the music room. He heard a sound, soft, broken notes of a piano, followed by a frustrated slam. He peeked in and saw one of the twins, Leela, sitting at the piano, tears in her eyes, hitting the same wrong key again and again. Daniel didn't say a word. He just walked in quietly, placed the mop against the wall, and sat at the other end of the bench. "You're hitting F instead of F sharp," he said softly. The girl glared. "You're the janitor. You don't know music." Daniel just smiled faintly and started to play. Not some grand classical tune, but a simple, heartfelt melody. It filled the room with warmth, fragile, gentle, and full of emotion. Leela didn't speak, she just listened, and when he finished, she whispered, "My mom used to play that." From that day, something changed. Daniel never tried to teach or correct her. He just showed up every morning before class, cleaning while softly playing that same song. Eventually, Grace began to come too, sitting in the corner, pretending not to listen. Within weeks, both girls were waiting for him, the janitor with the mop and the music. One afternoon, the school principal walked in and froze. The billionaire's daughters, the same girls who made teachers cry, were sweeping the music room floor, giggling as Daniel pretended to inspect their work. Word spread fast. The headmaster called a meeting. "Mr. Hensley," he said cautiously when the billionaire arrived in his black car, "you may want to meet someone." Richard Hensley entered the music room expecting chaos. Instead, he saw his daughters laughing, genuinely laughing. For the first time in years, the janitor was sitting at the piano, letting them take turns pressing keys while he guided their hands. Richard's face softened, but his tone stayed guarded. "You're the janitor, correct?" "Yes, sir," Daniel said, standing. "Just trying to keep things clean." The billionaire didn't respond. But that night, when he tucked his daughters into bed, they both whispered, "Dad, can we go early tomorrow?" The janitor said he'll teach us that new song. The days turned into weeks. The twins began helping Daniel clean the hallway after class, laughing as they pushed the mop together. Teachers watched in disbelief. The same girls who once threw tantrums now holding trash bags, humming softly. Then one afternoon, Richard called Daniel into his office. "I owe you more than you know," he began. "Every expert, every therapist failed. But you, how did you reach them?" Daniel took a breath. "I didn't try to fix them, I just listened." For a long moment, the billionaire said nothing. His eyes glistened as he looked at a framed photo of his late wife on the wall. "She used to say that too," he murmured. The next day, something unexpected happened. As Daniel arrived early to clean the music room, he found a small note taped to the piano. It read, "You made us smile again. Thank you for hearing what no one else did." Below it were 2 little handprints, one pink, one blue, shaped into a heart. Daniel smiled quietly, folded the note, and slipped it into his pocket. Then he sat down, placed his fingers on the keys, and began to play. The same song that had started it all. Outside the window, the billionaire's car pulled up, and 2 little girls ran toward the school gates, laughing louder than ever before. Daniel watched from the window as the twins ran across the courtyard, their laughter echoing through the morning air. For the first time since his own wife had passed, he felt something bloom inside him, something warm and peaceful. He didn't know the billionaire was standing just outside the door, listening. When Richard finally stepped in, his usual confidence was gone. He looked at Daniel with quiet sincerity. "I used to think money could fix everything," he said softly. "Therapists, tutors, private schools. I tried them all. But you gave them something I couldn't buy." Daniel smiled faintly. "They didn't need fixing, sir. They just needed someone to see them. To listen. There was silence for a moment, broken only by the soft hum of the piano strings. Richard extended his hand. I don't want you to just be a janitor anymore. I'd like you to stay. As their mentor, their friend. And if you'll allow it, as part of our family. Daniel hesitated. He looked at the twins, who were standing behind their father, their eyes shining. Grace held out a small charm bracelet. A simple silver heart. We made this for you, she said shyly. Because you made us believe good people still exist. Daniel knelt to their height, his eyes moist. You girls did that yourselves. I just reminded you how. That day marked a quiet transformation. Not just for the billionaire's daughters, but for everyone around them. Teachers started smiling more. Students began helping each other without being asked. Even Richard Hensley began spending his weekends at the school, organizing music days for the children. One morning, months later, as Daniel played the same soft melody that had started it all, the twins joined in. Their small hands dancing gracefully across the keys beside his. And in that moment, it wasn't about money, status, or titles. It was about connection. The invisible thread of kindness that could bridge even the widest gaps. The janitor who once swept empty hallways had unknowingly cleaned something far deeper. Hearts clouded by pain and loneliness. And in return, he found something he thought he'd lost forever, a family. The final notes of the piano faded into quiet sunlight, and for once, everyone in that grand academy felt what true wealth really meant. The richness of kindness, and the courage to care.